A former software engineer could shake up the race for Michigan's 1st congressional district. Glenn Wilson is running as an independent, but he'll likely attract conservative voters who might have helped Republicans take the seat long held by Democrat Bart Stupak. Mary Ellen Geist reports.
When Bart Stupak announced he was retiring, so many Republican candidates entered the primary that the race to represent the 1st congressional district was portrayed as a stampede. In the August primary, Dr. Dan Benishek beat State Senator Jason Allen by just 15 votes. Democrat Gary McDowell ran unopposed. After the primary, Glenn Wilson appeared and declared he was running as an independent. Earlier this month, he began airing a commercial on TV stations in parts of the district. The ad compares the two-party political system to the mafia.
We have this guy, Glenn Wilson. He's a conservative, you believe it? Except for the little guy. But he's not running with us.
So he's not taking our money?
Getting his donation online from the little people.
The little people?
Yeah, the voters.
Can't we whack the voters?
That's too many people.
Not yet.
Unlike most third-party candidates or independents, Wilson is running hard. Wilson says he's raised $75,000 in just a month. He has a campaign bus with a huge photo of himself and the words, "We the people, not the special interests." When he introduces himself at a coffee shop in Petoskey, he leads with his anti-party message.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Glenn Wilson. I'm running for U.S. Congress. Well, I need your vote here. I mean, think about it. If we can hold one seat for the citizens and not let either party get it, that'll send a shockwave through the 2012 election, won't it? We can slap both parties right upside the head, yes?
Wilson is an internet entrepreneur from Rose City. He grew up in Michigan and worked as a computer programmer in California. He started his own software company in Colorado. He moved to northeastern Michigan in 1998, where he started a communications company, M33 Access. He has no political background, and that's attractive to people like Diane Hungo.
I am upset about the two-party system because they don't care about the people anymore. They've lost the perspective. It's just all about what they can do for their certain interests. And those interests aren't the people.
Hungo has gathered with a few others at a small subsistence farm near Petoskey called Kiju. The owners grow food for themselves and to help people in need. They want their farm to be self-sustaining because they're worried the nation's economy and food system might collapse. Wilson's campaign manager, Rich Carlson, says people are worried about more than who's in control in Washington.
There's just an overall sense of despair. That's why we're at this city urban farm, basically within the city limits of Petoskey, because people are preparing. You know, you talk about how purchases of gold are going through the roof. People are also preparing for impending doom for food and just fear. The two-party system and their political machine has failed us.
Though Glenn Wilson is running as an independent, many of his campaign issues echo concerns voiced by Tea Party members. He says he'd get rid of the recently passed health care plan, and he thinks immigration policy in the U.S. is a disaster.
How about the Republicans letting all these immigrants through our border? They wanted the cheap labor, right? Now the Democrats are letting it do it for they want to amnestize them so they can vote. This is really not what it needs to be done.
Wilson says he won't abolish Social Security, but he definitely wants to dismantle the IRS and replace the tax code with something simple enough that it wouldn't need a bureaucracy to manage it. But the issue he says he cares most deeply about is campaign finance reform. Wilson says he'd like to see a system where only direct private donations from citizens are allowed, and they'd have to come from within the candidate's district. But oddly, he admits that right now he's getting funds from people outside of Michigan, and he won't say who. Wilson has angered some people in the GOP. Jack Waldvogel, chairman of the Emmett County Republican Party, sent an email to Wilson calling him a creep. Waldvogel says Wilson will likely take conservative voters and help the Democrats hold on to Michigan's first congressional seat.
To be mad at both parties and say, well, I'm going to get in the race to slap them upside the head and teach them a lesson, well, I think that's just so much rhetoric. That's not going to happen. The best way to affect change is to work within the system and do it, not come in from the outside and whoop someone.
Wilson is nonplussed. He says he's passionate about his contempt for the two-party system and its regard for voters.
They're just using them as puppets and pawns, and they're expecting them to vote the party line. Well, R&D, research and development is what we call it. And we don't have time to do research and development no more. We have to hit the ground running. And I'm doing it for the people. Period. We the people, by the people, for the people.
There's no record of an independent politician being elected to a major office in Michigan so far. Wilson says he'll be on the campaign bus right up until Election Day, November 2nd, trying to change that. For Interlochen Public Radio, I'm Marilyn Geist in Petoskey.